And listen, he had a game plan. He was going to wait his turn, wait for Jaime Munguia to overextend himself and counter when he had the opportunities.
And you see the expression on the face of Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., who was on the air there.
Now, let's head over to a fight that didn't go how most people expected it to go. I mean, I'm pretty sure no one had on their bingo card that Surace was going to knock out Munguia. Nobody. The guy that from France who only fought out there with only, 4 or 5 knockouts is going to stop, Munguia. Nobody had that on their bingo card. But guess what? My man, Now, in the past, I did have some criticism for Munguia. I felt that he was fighting a bunch of low-level or low-tier guys. No offense to the opposition. I just felt like he was ready for a step up in competition. When the Canelo fight came around, I thought that was too big of a jump in competition. I didn't even think he deserved that fight. He definitely didn't deserve it over Benavidez, but he got the fight. If you get a fight offer from Canelo, you're going to take it no matter who you are. Not even upset about that. So I get it. He got offered a fight. He took it. He didn't deserve it, but he took it. Now, I've been saying before the Canelo fight, we need to see him fight harder competition, because we want to gauge where you are as a fighter. If we're going to hype you up and we're going to root behind you and say you're the next thing, you need to show and prove that you're deserving of that hype. And I never really felt that Munguia showed me that, to be honest. I never felt that. I think there were some little things that he showed me, that he had great power. I felt that he was working on his defense a little bit. They made it like a big thing that he was doing so much better on a defensive side, which that was bullshit, because not for nothing, he gets hit a lot. His thing is he has a good chin and he also has power. So you probably don't want to go, shot for shot with him. You probably don't want to do that. But his defense was still very shaky because he did get hit a lot. Too much for my liking. But again, he was fighting low tier guys. He was fighting, not the best competition. So, what I'm saying? I guess he could risk that. As you start getting better, and better, the competition starts getting harder. Pause. You are supposed to get better. I never felt that he did on the defensive side. I just thought it was okay defensively, but he still showed signs that he needs to work on his defense. And that came up in this fight, because if you look at that knockout, it's like he threw a punch and stood there and got knocked the fuck out. I mean, god damn. I mean, cleaned his clock. Like, bro didn't know where he was for the first 3 or 4 seconds when he was on. He did not know. He was shocked. That shit was a clean shot, and it was clean. That's what makes it so bad to me in my eyes. It was a clean shot. Where was the defense? Where was the shoulder roll, something to take off a little bit of the power of the shot? There was nothing. He threw a punch and stood there like, yeah, you do something.
Until he wasn't, right? Exactly. Like Munguia took a round off and then came back and finished him.
He's just standing there.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And shout out to Surace. He did a fantastic job. He, in the sense of, he was the huge underdog. He had 4 or 5 knockouts with like 20 fights. And I didn't expect him to even throw anything of power at all. I did not expect that at all. Again, him knocking Munguia out was on nobody's bingo card. I thought it would have went to the decision. And I thought Munguia would have won because Munguia was the bigger name. That's what I was going with. And the reason why I thought that is because this guy, even though he didn't have a big name, he showed me with his career, just looking at his resume, just off paper, just looking at it, this guy is going to try to outbox you. That's what he's going to do. He's going to just try to outbox you, maybe a counter punch here and there. But I would never expect him to throw that punch that he threw with that much force. And hey, shout out to him. So for him, he did a fantastic job. Even though he got rocked early and he got knocked out, he did a fantastic job because he came to win. Pause. Just in case. I don't know. It just felt like a pause. So just in case, pause. And the bias is so crazy. The bias is so crazy for Munguia. And, you know, I have no problem with Top Rank, ESPN, you know. They made a post on YouTube which said, who's next for Munguia? The same Munguia who just got knocked out? That Munguia? Not who's next for the dude that knocked him out, but who's next for Munguia? Is wild. I mean, I get it. You're getting there. You're a fighter. You're the fighter with the bigger name. So yes, you're going to get more publicized and more talked about. I get it, but got to give this other dude some credit because he did something that not even Canelo did. He did something that not even Canelo did. He clocked him. He stopped him. One punch. Done. You gotta give him credit. Now, you've heard me on this channel. Me. Not my man Hawk. Me. You've heard me say, and Hawk has said it too. He agrees with me. But you've heard me say many times, give a guy a chance to be great. So, when Munguia gets up at 9, a small part of me does feel like the ref should have let it go. But when you look at Munguia's face, look at his face. It would have been bad. I'm not sure if he would have survived or not. But there is an argument that maybe the ref could have let it go. Maybe. And again, you know, this is the line of being a fan and also being a sympathetic person in reference to somebody's health. So yeah, I may be a fan. I don't want to see the fight and I want to see a great knockout. But then also, if this guy is not looking like he could defend himself, because that's how Munguia looked when he stood up, like he looked like he was not there and he's not able to defend himself. I understand that man is Jaime Munguia. I get it. But do I send him back out there? I don't know. A small part of me wanted to see that from the ref, but I think the bigger picture was Munguia was not all there. He was clocked. He absolutely clocked, and this probably ultimately was the best decision. It may not be the fan favorite decision, but it was the best decision. So again, shout out to Surace. He did his thing. And what's next for him? You know what I'm saying? I know everybody's saying what's next for Munguia, but what's next for him, you know? So shout out to him. He deserved that shit, for real.